morning. Let's start the daily discussion on current affairs. So the first topic is about the SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and about the detail is about its defense ministers meeting that took place at Astana in Kazakhstan. Okay, so SCO is an organization which was initially created as Shanghai 5. So joining up other country, so it was renamed as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Shanghai is a city in China. Initially Russia and China are the major promoter of this group, but subsequently not many other countries joined this group. So the agreement and declaration during the meeting, okay. So during the meeting, a protocol was signed by the defense minister of all SCO member states. A joint communique was issued after the meeting in which the SCO defense ministers agreed to develop the idea of one earth, one family, one future, which is rooted in the ancient Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which was highlighted at the Indian sponsored or Indian hosted G20 summit. So when India hosted the last G20 summit, Prime Minister Modi popularized the concept called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and became a popular catchword around the world. So SCO also took it in a different way by putting the philosophy as one earth, one family and one future. India's commitment to peace and counter-terrorism, the Defense Secretary of India reiterated India's commitment towards maintaining peace, stability, and security in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization region. He emphasized the need to adopt a zero tolerance approach towards terrorism in all its forms for prosperity and development of the SCO member states. So what? So common prosperity through that development will be promoted. He mentioned India's long-standing proposal for comprehensive convention on international terrorism at the United Nations. So these are the major outcomes of the summit. But let's know little about the organization called the SCO. About the SCO is an 8-member multilateral organization established on 15 June 2001 in Shanghai of China by the leaders of China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Prior to the creation of SCO in 2001, hello? हॉस्टल तो अच्छी है, କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ, ଆସି ଦେଖିଦେବେ। ହଁ ହଷ୍ଟେଲ ଅଛି। ହଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଯାଇକି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଫ୍ଲୋରରେ ଆମର ହଷ୍ଟେଲ ଯେଉଁ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ହେଉଛି ତାକୁ କହିଦେବେ ପାଠିଶାର ପଡ଼ିଛନ୍ତି ସେ ଦେଖେଇଦେବ ଯାହା ହଷ୍ଟେଲ। ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଫ୍ଲୋରରେ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବୋଲି ଯେଉଁ ପିଲାଟା ହଷ୍ଟେଲ ହେଉଛି ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଅଛି ଏଠି ହେଲା, ତାକୁ କହିବେ ପାଠିଶାର ମୋତେ ପଠେଇଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ମୋତେ ଦେଖେଇଦେବ। So prior to the case of SCO in 2001, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia and Tajikistan were members of the Shanghai Five. So initially it was created as Shanghai Five and subsequently named as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So initially it was created as Shanghai Five. Okay. So Shanghai Five in 1996 emerged from a series of border demarcation and demilitarization talks which the four member Soviet republics held with China to ensure stability along the borders. Following the accession of Uzbekistan to the organization in 2001, the Shanghai Five was renamed as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Initially it was Shanghai Five and subsequently it was renamed as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay. So Shanghai Five emerged from a series of border demarcation and demilitarization talks with the four member Soviet republics held with China to ensure stability along the borders. मैडम जी अभी क्लास में हूँ, क्लास खत्म करके कॉल करते हैं, ठीक ठाक है तो ठीक है। So following the accession of Uzbekistan to the organization in 2001, the Shanghai Five was renamed as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Russian and Chinese are the official language. At present, it has more members like Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, India, Pakistan, and Iran. Iran is the latest member of the SCO. So India and Pakistan joined in the same year, and last year China joined. That Iran joined as a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay. So, observer status is with Afghanistan, Belarus, and Mongolia. Coverage: the SCO geographic scope covers 60% of Eurasia and represent 40% of the world's population. The combined GDP accounting for 20% of the global economy. The chairmanship SCO is rotation for a year by member states. Its objective to strengthen mutual trust, friendly relations, and cooperation among young people of SCO member states. It seeks to counter Western influence in Eurasia because try to control the influence of USA and European country in the Eurasian region. India and SCO. India was granted observer status at the July 2005 Astana summit and subsequently participated in all SCO forum open to observers. India and Pakistan became the member of Astana at the Astana summit in 2017. So in the subsequent Astana summit, both became member of SCO. Okay. So then organizational structure, head of the state council. Okay. Head of the State Council, supreme SCO body which decides its internal functioning and its interaction with other states and international organizations and consider international issues. That is the head of the State Council. Then has the Government Council approve the budget, consider the decisions upon issues related to economic spheres of interaction within SCO. Council of Minister of Foreign Affairs consider issues related to क्लास अच्छी टे पर कथा क्लास अच्छी गोटे पर कथा So Council of Minister of Foreign Affairs, it consider issues related to day-to-day activities. Regional anti-terrorist structure established to combat terrorism, separatism and extremism. Okay, so the Secretariat has sought to implement organizational decisions and decrees documents such as declaration and agenda. It has also a secretariat. Okay, the next topic is an economy topic in the GS paper 3. Okay, IRDA gets Navratna status. The Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency IRDA was granted Navratna status by the Department of Public Enterprises. Comparing year-to-year figure, IRDA, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, witnessed a 32% rise in net profit while it remained constant quarter on quarter at 337 crore. So, criteria for classification to qualify for Navratna status, a company must first attain the Miniratna category 1 designation and be included in Schedule A of the Center Public Sector Enterprise. For a company to achieve Navratna status, it must report a net profit of more than 5,000 crore for 3 consecutive years and maintain an average annual turnover of 25,000 crore for 3 years, or have an annual average net worth of over 15,000 crore for 3 years. The central public sector enterprise must have achieved an excellent or very good rating. Okay. So the Indian government granted Nabatna status to premier public sector undertakings, empowering them to execute significant investment up to 1,000 crore without requiring approval from the central authority. These firms are permitted to allocate up to 30% of their net worth annually, provided it remain under 1,000 crore. They have the option to participate in joint venture, forge partnership, and set up overseas subsidiaries. They get little more relaxations or their freedom to operate because they have become credible. That's led the government to think that they can manage their things on their own. Okay, so those firms are permitted to allocate 30% of their net worth annually, provided it remain under 1,000 crore. They have the option to participate in joint venture, forge partnership, and to set up overseas subsidiaries. The status gives the board of directors of the CPAC the power to allow merger and acquisition in India and abroad. How they need approval from the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs to make investment abroad. About Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency under the aegis of the IREDA is a non-banking financial institution under the Ministry of Renewable and Renewable Energy established in 1987. So it was established and later to be classified under the public financial institutions under section 4A of the Companies Act 1956 and is officially registered as a non-banking financial company with the Reserve Bank of India. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy acknowledged IREDA's contribution by conferring upon it status of a Mini Ratna category company. In 2023, that Mini Ratna category, the Ministry of Renewable and Non-Renewable Energy has urged IREDA for Schedule B to Schedule A category of Central Public Sector Enterprise. This paved the way for IREDA to attain Navaratna status. Okay. The Department of Public Enterprises granted Navaratna status to IREDA. Mandate: IREDA is engaged in promoting, developing, and extending financial assistance for setting up projects related to new and renewable source of energy. It offers financial assistance to projects that produce electricity using fresh and sustainable sources. The government holds a 75% ownership stake in the company. Some remarkable project of IREDA: Green Rooftop Scheme, world's first floating solar PV project financing battery energy storage system or BESS, that being done by the IREDA. Declining trend in solar power potential in India, IMD study. Recently, study published in the journal Motion by Indian Meteorological Department has revealed a significantly decreasing trend in solar power generation potential in the country and has suggested use of more efficient equipment to deal with the situation. The study titled Understanding the Climatology and Long-Term Trends in Solar Radiation Using Ground-Based In Situ Observation in India, published by IMD. It has an important role in governing the Earth's surface, atmosphere, energy exchange, and climate of the Earth. It modules global energy balance and change the climate and hydrological cycle. Various sectors such as agriculture, energy, industry, etc., directly or indirectly depends on the incoming solar radiation. Direct radiance is the part of the solar radiance which directly reaches the surface. Diffuse irradiance, it is the part that is scattered by the atmosphere. That global irradiance. କ୍ଲାସ୍ରେ ଅଛି ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ବା ପଛରେ ଏଇଟା ପଠେଇଛୁ ମୁଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ରେ ଅଛି କ୍ଲାସ୍ରେ ଦେଖିବା ଅନଲାଇନ୍ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଅଛି ମୁଁ କ'ଣ କରିବି okay so global irradiance okay so the quantity of solar radiation available that can be economically converted by solar panel to electricity is showing an alarming decreasing trend in several locations in India. Okay, irradiation is the power of solar radiation per unit area measured in that meter square. Solar power potential in India has decreased over the last 3 decades. Decreasing solar radiation due to increased aerosol load. Causative factor behind increased aerosol load: fine particles from carbon emissions, fossil fuel burning, and dust and clouding. Aerosol absorb the sunlight and deflect it away from the ground, and they can also precipitate the formation of dense cloud and again block sunlight. The efficiency of solar panel are significantly replaced by the amount of sunlight incident on them, means falling on them. It has been recognized as an alternative to conventional energy resources. Amongst all the clean technology, solar energy serves as an effective renewable energy source to mitigate greenhouse gas emission and reduce global warming. It is one of the resource capable of self-reliant energy generation, reducing foreign energy dependence. Solar energy in India. India is the fifth in solar power capacity as per International Renewable Energy Agency. Renewable capacity statistic 2024-2023. As of today, India's installed solar power capacity is about 81 gigawatt, or roughly 70% of the total installed capacity. India has ambitious plan of sourcing about 100 gigawatt, nearly half of its requirement of electricity from non-fossil fuel by 2030. And recently, the Prime Minister has launched the Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana, in which 1 crore household will be provided with rooftop solar power option. At least 280 gigawatt from solar power by that year, or at least 40 gigawatt of solar capacity being annually added until 2030. Incident solar energy in India. The energy of about 5,000 trillion kilowatt per year is incident over India land area, which most part receiving 4 to 7 kilowatt per square meter per day. Therefore, it highlighted the need for installing more efficient solar panel. Okay, so study based on the climatology and global radiation trends, diffuse radiation, bright sunshine spot hours, and technical potential of solar power, solar photovoltaic potential, using the in situ data procured from the IMD between 1985 to 2019. Then global radiation trend: maximum over northwest India and inland area of peninsular India, minimum over extreme north and northeast India. Reduction in the GR is due to increased atmospheric turbidity and cloudiness. However, the declining trend of the average GR over क्लास पर कथा भी गोटे पर कौन कर छाड़े गोटे पर the declining trend of the average GR over the country will reduce in the recent decade. Diffusion radiation: DR is high over coastal stations, including the extreme northern parts of the country. A significant increase in DR has been observed in more than 50% of the stations, especially in the northwest and some part of peninsular India. Reduction in DR is due to increased atmospheric turbidity and cloudiness. The rate of increased average DR over the country has escalated in recent time. Okay, Annual BHS is high in northwest India and low in the east. Okay. So annual BHS is high in northwest India and low in northeast and the southern peninsula of India. Technical potential of solar power SPV, the amount of radiation that may be practically available to be converted into electricity by the panels. The country has vast SPV potential in the range of 1800 to 3400 megawatt square through its substantial regional variations. Data from in-house stations to compute the changes in solar photovoltaic potential showed a general decline in all stations. India's largest solar park are located in the northwest, particularly Gujarat and Rajasthan, and cities in both these states are also showing a decrease in the SPP potential. Therefore, study highlighted that understanding the variations of solar power potential over the country is essential for the optimum utilization of solar energy in power generation, which demands accurate information of solar radiation and its variation. Okay. Okay, then antihistamines. There has been an increase in the intake of antihistamines to treat health concerns. About antihistamine, there are common drugs that can be purchased without a prescription. They are used to treat short-lived allergic reaction like sneezing, fit, or an itch. How it functions? An antihistamine drug functions by targeting histamine receptor, which are protein that bind to compound called histamine in the body. Its composition, these compounds is composed of ethylamine and imidazole with a layer forming a rising structure. Function of the histamine performs various roles in the body through four types of receptors: H1, H2, H3 and H4. The H1 receptor is predominantly found in blood vessels, neurons, and smooth muscle cells, and its blockage helps alleviate minor allergies. Okay, the H2 receptors are present in gastric gland cells. They stimulate the release of gastric acid from digestion. H3 receptors are located in the central nervous system. This regulates the release of neurotransmitters including dopamine and serotonin. H4 receptors control the body's inflammatory response including allergic reaction. Research is currently focused on H3 and H4 receptors to develop specialized drugs for treating neurological and immunological disorders. And that nephrotic syndrome, researchers from the Kerala have reported a series of cases from the Malappuram district where the regular use of fairness cream has been linked to nephrotic syndrome. About nephrotic syndrome, it is a kidney disorder characterized by excessive protein loss in urine due to issues with the kidney's filtration system, especially the glomeruli. Function of glomeruli: in a healthy kidney, glomeruli filters waste and excess fluids while retaining essential cells and proteins. What happens in a nephrotic syndrome? In nephrotic syndrome, inflamed glomeruli allow too much protein leakage. This condition can result from various kidney disease or systemic disorder like diabetes or the lupus. Symptoms include severe swelling, that foamy urine, high blood fat levels, weight gain, fatigue, and loss of appetite. Complications may include blood clots, increased infection risk, high blood pressure, and potential kidney issues such as chronic kidney disease or kidney failure. Treatment involves managing the underlying causes and addressing related concerns, including blood pressure control, cholesterol reduction, swelling mitigation, and infection prevention through medication or dietary adjustment. The V3 Mini, recently Microsoft unveiled the latest version of its lightweight AI model, that is V3 Mini. About the V3 Mini, it is the smallest AI model developed by Microsoft. It is believed to be the first in a series of three smaller models planned by the Microsoft. It performs well in various benchmarks such as language, reasoning, coding, and mathematics. Okay. Uh, Mathematics, outperforming other models of similar and larger size. It has the ability to support a context window of up to 128K token. This allows it to handle extensive conversation data with minimal impact on quality. It is a 3.8B language model. It is accessible on platforms like the Microsoft Azure AI Studio, Hugging Face, and Olama. It comes in two variants, one with the K4 content length and another with the 128K token context window. Difference between the V3 Mini and the LLMs: compared to large language model, the V3 Mini represents a smaller, more streamlined version. Smaller AI models like this offer cost-effective development and operation, particularly on the device like laptop and smartphones. They are well suited for resource constrained environments such as one device and offline interference scenario. They are also ideal for tasks requiring fast response time such as chatbot or virtual assistant. P3 Mini can be tailored for specific tasks, achieving high accuracy and efficiency that SLMs typically undergo targeted training, requiring less computational power and energy compared to the LLM. They also excel in interference speed and latency due to their compact size, making them appealing to smaller organizations and research groups. Then symbol loading unit. Recently, the Supreme Court dismissed a request to verify 100% of voters' verifiable paper audit trail VVPAT slips alongside the electronic voting machine counts. So right now EVM have been attached with the VVPAT, and there is a demand to verify the each and every VVPAT that is in demand, but the court has ruled it out. Okay, instead the court ordered the Election Commission of India to secure and store the symbol loading unit SLU safely for 45 days, allowing the announcement of the election results. EVM brochure about SLU. It is a matchbox size device connected to a laptop or personal computer to load a bitmap file containing the candidate's name, serial number, and the symbols. It is then connected to the VVPAT to transfer that file onto the paper audit machine under the supervision of a district election officer. When they are introduced, symbolic loading units were introduced alongside the voter verifiable paper audit trail about a decade ago. The VVPATs enable voter to confirm their vote choice by printing a slip with the party symbol they selected. It actively loads candidate symbol and information onto VVPAT and ballot unit, ensuring accurate representation during the voting process. At which point of the election process the SLU are involved in the election process approximately a few days before polling commence at a specific seat. This occurs when the EVM are being commissioned and the order of contesting candidate is finalized. Candidate setting can take place 5 to 2 days before the voting. Once this process is completed under the supervision of the district election officer, the SLU became relevant to the actual voting procedure. What happens when SLU after symbol are loaded? A limited number of symbol loading units SLU are utilized to load symbols onto VVPAT. For each seat during multi-phase elections, it takes approximately 2 to 3 minutes for an SLU to complete this task. SLU are then given to district election officer for safekeeping until the day after voting. During this period, the SLU are returned to the engineers. They use the SLU to load symbols onto VVPAT for other seats in subsequent phases of the election. In the subsequent phase of the multi-phase election, the SLU is usually utilized again after completing one phase of polling. Its main task involves loading symbols onto the VVPAT instead of various sheets. That is what another work being done by the SLU. The next come the network as a service NAS. In India's rapidly advancing internet economy, embracing network as a service holds promise for enhancing user experience. The network as a service, network as a service is a cloud-like networking model where network resources are provided to customers on demand. It offers network functionality without the need of customers to invest in hardware or manage infrastructure directly. With over 850 million active internet user and a digital economy, projected to contribute 20% of GDP by 2026, the NAS offer a cloud-like networking model providing on-demand network resources without the need for direct infrastructure management. SaaS, PaaS and AS concept. Software as a service delivers software applications over the internet. Example: Google Workspace, formerly G Suite, Microsoft Office 365, the Salesforce, the Dropbox. PaaS, a platform as a service, provide a platform allowing customers to develop, run and manage application without dealing with infrastructure. The Heroku, Microsoft Azure App Service, Google App Engine, etc. Then IaaS, infrastructure as a service, delivers virtualized computing resources over the internet, allowing users to trade servers, storage and networking resources. Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Google's cloud platform, DigitalOcean are the examples. Then Climate Technology Center and Network. The Climate Technology Center and Network celebrates its 10 years anniversary as a key player in advancing climate technology and innovation. About Climate Technology Center and Network, established as a implementation arm of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, technology mechanism and hosted by the UN Environment Program and the CTCN facilitates. So Technology Center and Network, Climate Technology Center and Network facilitate the development and transfer of environmental sound technology for low carbon and climate resilient development. It operates through It operates through a global network of over 760 civil society finance, private sector and research institutions providing technical assistance and capacity building to developing countries upon request. Over the past decade, the CTCN has funded over 300 technical assistance projects across 112 developing nations, supporting them in meeting their substantial development commitment under the Paris Agreement. Through projects spanning various sectors such as green building standards, drought risk modeling, industrial energy efficiency and policy development for e-mobility, the CTCN aims to catalyze climate resilience and innovation globally. And coming to the question, discuss the factor contributing to the growth of nationalist organization in India from 1858 to 1905 and how they module the freedom movement. The period from 1858 to 1905. So the period from 1858 to 1905 in British India witnessed the growth of nationalist organization. Okay. The witness the growth of nationalist organizations. They include various political, social, intellectual groups that emerged during this period with the aim of advocating for Indian rights, national identity, and self-rule. Key factors that contributed to the growth of nationalist organizations during this period: the British colonial policies such as the doctrine of lapse, racism, imposition of heavy taxation on Indian, etc. Political, administrative, and economic unification of the country with uniform set of law. Impact of because earlier there were the different kings. Impact of international movement. The growth of nationalist organization in India was influenced by global movement for freedom and democracy, the American Revolution and the French Revolution. The American War of Independence, the French Revolution also influenced Indian nationalism and freedom movement. Progressive character of social religious movement that renewed social evils that divided society. Example, the Satya Sodhak Samaj. Spread of education, the spread of modern and progressive education which promoted self-respect among Indians. Example, setting up of university in Mumbai, Kolkata and Madras in 1857. Role of intellectual and leaders. Okay, so role of intellectual influence of Western thought. Indian intellectuals educated in the British system were inspired by Western political philosophy and sought to apply them to Indian context. Role of press and publications. Bengal Gazette, Amrit Bazar Patrika, and the Kesari became platforms for nationalist leaders to express their views, raise awareness, and mobilize public opinion against British policies. Formation of societies and associations. Various societies and associations such as the Indian Association and the Purna Sarvajanik Sabha were established during the period. Growth of nationalistic organization during this period shaped the freedom movement in multiple ways. Building up national identity. They sought to create a shared sense of national identity among Indians, emphasizing the common historical and cultural heritage of the country. International exposure and support. Leaders like Dadabhai Naroji and Octavian Alan Octavian, whom represented Indian interest on international platform and sought to garner. Dadabhai Naroji established the East India Association. He was also an MP in the British Parliament. Start of constitutional struggle. Organized like the Indian National Congress, utilized constitutional methods like the petition, resolution, and public campaign to demand reforms and press for self-rule. Political education of people. Nationalist organizations organize public meetings, lectures, and seminars to raise awareness about colonial policy rights. Unity and collaboration. For instance, the International Congress emerged as a most prominent political organization representing diverse interests and aspirations of the Indians. Okay, so thus the growth of nationalist organization in British India from 1858 to 1905 laid the foundation for effort to extremist leaders and subsequently for the Gandhian struggle, ultimately leading to India's independence in 1947. Then coming to the MCQ, consider the following: virtual private network, multi-protocol level switching connections, firewall application, load balance. How many of these can be played by network as a service? NAS. So all the four. Which one of the following best describe the primary action of histamines? So antihistamines, they block the H1 receptor site on cell, preventing histamine from attaching. So B is the right answer. What is the role of the symbol loading unit in the context of VVPAT, vote to verify paper audit trail, used during the election attached to the EVM? So it is used for loading candidate symbol onto the VVPAT. So B. How many of the following statement correctly describe the impact of fairness creams containing mercury as mentioned in the article? Inhibiting melamine production which lightens skin tone. Psychological effects such as anxiety and depression improve the skin's resistance to bacterial and fungal infection. Only 2, 1 and 2, 3 is incorrect. Consider the following statement about the Marrakesh Agreement. It was signed in 1986 to establish the World Resource Institute WTI. That is wrong. It was for the Marrakesh Agreement for WTO. It's primarily focused on environmental conservation, so here both are right. So neither 1 nor 2 are correct. D the right answer. Global report on food crisis is published by the Food Security Information Network. So D. Towards a regenerative blue economy, mapping the blue economy is published by which of the following? It is published by the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Consider the following statement. NAS enables organization to outsource the provisioning and management of the network infrastructure to third-party service provider. NAS eliminates the need for organization to invest in and maintain their own networking hardware. Right? NAS provides on-demand access to networking resources such as the bandwidth, routing, and security services. Then all the 3 are correct. Consider the following statement about the Climate Technology Center and Network. It is the implementation arm of the technology mechanism of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It is hosted by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. It facilitates the development and transfer of environmentally sound technology for low carbon and climate resilient development. Here only 2 are correct, 1 and 2. Consider the following statement. Blue whale are the smallest species of whales. Blue is the biggest one. So blue whales primarily feeds on plankton. Blue whale are known for their loud vocalization. Here 2 are correct. So 1 is incorrect. Thank you for watching. Keep on watching regular to update yourself on a daily basis. Thank you.